All right, welcome everybody. We're about to begin. Hello, everybody. We're about to begin. So please take your seat. Council members are taking your seats, but if there could be less chatter. Before we start the meeting, a couple quick public service announcements. For an emergency, please note the exits on either side of the chambers and proceed down the stairs. Bathrooms are located out the door to my left, women's room to the right, men's room to the left. We allow 30 minutes for public speaking. If you have not done so, please sign up at the podium. Zoom speakers are only permitted if you signed up by emailing the city clerk by 11 a.m. today. If you did sign up, you must put your camera on so that we could see you before addressing the council. Please note that the council has rules of decorum for our meetings, including the public speaking portion. We ask that respect be shown to all, whether they serve on the council, on the staff, or are here as public members. As noted on the signage, we do not allow weapons of any sort, signs mounted on wood, metal, or similar material, or signs larger than 19 by 24. This will help guarantee that we follow the open meeting law. Not only are we here tonight to listen to the voice of the public, but we are also here to run government proceedings. To best serve us all, we cannot have any distractions. When a speaker is addressing the council, no disruptions are permitted. This includes talking over, yelling, and clapping. When this body proceeds with the day's business, we also need no disruptions. As per open meeting law, section 103, interruption of a speaker or government proceedings will not be tolerated. After one warning, anyone interrupting a speaker or the proceedings of today's meeting will be removed from chambers. I am now calling this Common Council meeting to order at 7:42 p.m. on March 4th, 2025. If you are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. May I please have a roll call?
Alderman Pasty,
Here.
Alderman Tierney,
Here.
Alderman Scott Childress, Alderman Edwards,
Here.
Alderman Mickens,
Present.
Alderman Dennison, Alderman Andrews, Alderman Shabbat,
Here.
Alderman Hirsch.
Here.
We have a quorum. Can I have a motion to dispense with the minutes of the previous meeting and approve same? Motion by Rennie Scott Childress, second by Michelle Hirsch. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0. Can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the general bills?
Motion.
By Rennie Scott Childress, second by Steve Shabbat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0. We're now entering into the public speaking portion of the meeting. We have allotted 30 minutes for this purpose. Speakers will have 3 minutes. Please be aware that I will give a verbal 30-second warning. If there are remaining speakers after 30 minutes, I will call for a motion from the council to extend the period for another 30 minutes. Speakers, direct your comments to the chair, as council members cannot engage in debate during this time. Please state your name and address on the record before you begin. There can be no distractions from the audience in chambers or on Zoom when a speaker addresses the council. The Common Council has also received written comments for our consideration, and they can be found on the city's website under tonight's agenda. May I have the first speaker, please?
Sharon Boyd,
Good evening. In review, the city of Kingston received the $21.7 million grant in June 2023. This grant was specified for the revitalization of the Kingston Waterfront District. So far, the Rondout District has not received many benefits of revitalization. 20 Broadway used to be the popular visitor center. Right now, 20 Broadway is an approximately $500,000 property owned by the city of Kingston in serious disrepair and being used for storage, I'm told. Several community members have voiced interest in having the visitor center reopen. It would help boost tourism in the Rondout District. We have American cruise ships stopping for the day at least once each week during the warmer months. There are also American bus tours which come for the day. The visitors center used to be, the visitors used to go to the visitors center for the first thing to learn what the attractions are in our area. There are 3 museums, the Trolley, the Maritime, and the Rear Cultural Center. There are also 3 boat rides, the Rip Van Winkle, the Solaris Tour of the Lighthouse, and the Kingston Boat Company, which offers sunset wine and cheese cruises. Of course, we have lots of fine restaurants, art galleries, and boutiques within just a few block radius. This is Kingston's tourist district, filled with attractions, but sadly neglected. It would be a wonderful boost to the Rondout to reopen the Visitor Center by spring 2025. I would be willing to volunteer to help with this project. The upstairs apartment could be renovated for a
30
rental
seconds.
to offset the cost of maintaining the visitor center. It is a prime piece of property, and it is terrible waste to see it deteriorating. Let's invest in bringing back tourism, which will stimulate income for all the Rondout merchants and the attractions. This is part of Kingston's Hudson Valley small town
Thank
charm.
you. Your time is up. Thank you.
you.
Next speaker, please.
Christine Bergeron.
Thank you. I agree with everything that Sharon has just said. The visitor center is definitely a big part of what we need brought back down there. I'm a business owner down at the waterfront and a resident. And my biggest concern, along with a place for tourism, is the parking issue. It is horrible down there to find parking on the weekends. You know, there's already, between the restaurants and the seasonal, all the events that go on down there, the residential parking, doesn't leave much for everybody else. There's under the bridge down at the bottom, you can park across from Old Savannah's, but that fills up very, very quickly. And then that doesn't leave much left. So if this unit is to be built, that's just going to be more of an issue for parking as far as I'm concerned. And I really like to just hear what the city has planned for that, because I think that is a very big issue going on in downtown. Thank you.
All right, we are going to switch to Zoom for a Zoom speaker, and just
We have
make sure that you put your camera on, please.
Karen Crook.
Yes, I am here. I'm not sure if you can see me. I don't have an icon to turn my camera on.
You can only speak if you have your camera on, and you do not. Sorry, we don't allow speakers unless we have the camera on. It's one of our rules. Anybody else who would like to speak, because that's the end of our list?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'd just like to say that there's no icon to get.
We can't fix that from our end. That has to be on your end, and we cannot have you speak unless we have the camera on. So hopefully by next month you could resolve that. Are there any others? Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Then I will close the public speaking portion of the night. Can I get a motion, or actually, sorry, skipped a step. We now enter into claims and communications. Hearing no discussion, they will be on the file in the clerk's office. Can I get a motion to dispense with the second reading of the general bills and pay same? Motion by Rennie Scott Childress, second by Jeannie Edwards. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0, and now we're entering into the report of committees, starting with Resolution 29.
Resolution 29 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer in the Parks and Recreation Department to adjust offsetting revenues and expenditures in the 2025 general fund budget for the New York State DEC Roundout Creek Public Kayak Access.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 30, please.
Resolution 30 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing an increase of the amount of match funding requirements expected for the New York Swims project for Kingston Point Beach.
On the question, Alderman Steve Shabbat.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just want to say, obviously, I live down in that area. I'm in full support of this. I love this. I've been a lifelong resident here. Spent many, many, many hours at the beach. The Kingston Point is a gem that very few cities in this entire country have. Most cities do not have a beach. I mean, it's already a big draw. Improvements will only help. So I'm definitely in favor of this and a couple projects down there. I'm not going to speak on each one, but definitely, I think this is great.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 31, please.
Resolution 31 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the expenditure of grant funds for Ulster County SEVI grant and to set up a capital account for the Hasbrook Park Pavilion Solar Project.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 32, please.
Resolution 32 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget modification in the amount of $1,317,356.08 in the Police Department budget to carry over unspent monies from the 2024 budget to purchase police vehicles.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 33, please.
Resolution 33 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer from fund balance in the amount of $830,000 and the sorry.
685, was that the original number? 685.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Let me read the whole thing over. Resolution 33 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer from fund balance in the amount of $685,000 in the Parks and Recreation Department for the Lauren Park Tennis Pickleball Facility Improvements Project.
The question, Alderman Michael Tierney.
Thank you, President Schott, and thank you, Clerk Tinty, for doing the math for me, because I panicked right before this meeting. I'd like to make an amendment to increase the amount by $145,000 for a total of $830,000. And can I speak on it, or do we need a second?
There's a motion, so let's get a second first, and then so there's a motion to increase it, second by Bob Dennison. On the question, Michael Tierney.
Thank you, President Schott. Adding $145,000 to this project is for the sound mitigation of the pickleball courts. That became hearing from my constituents on North Manor Avenue and not really knowing much about what pickleball is. It became critical that these sound mitigations are on there because pickleball is an extremely loud game. I'm sure it's very fun for those playing it, but those living around it, it really has created a quality of life issue that this $145,000 going towards it will be used to study the mitigation techniques and provide those mitigation methods. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Bob Dennison and then Alderman Drew Andrews.
I want to add my endorsement to Michael Tierney's discussion on this project. This has been pickleball has been an ongoing issue in Lauren Park. It's close to existing housing and it's loud. And this project gives us an opportunity to move it away from the existing housing and to do mitigation for the sound that's created by pickleball playing. I think it's a great idea. It's an opportunity we shouldn't miss.
Thank you, Drew Andrews.
Thank you, President Short. So I feel that there are more cost-effective ways to mitigate pickleball sound. This problem is ongoing nationwide, and there's a lot of conversation that can be had, and I don't feel that it has been had thus far. I know there was some research done, but there's a lot of moving parts here that that I feel $140,000 can be saved and possibly used somewhere else. As council members, we are fiscally responsible for using taxpayers' dollars, or the dollars that come into the city, let me put it that way. And I've done different types of research that can place responsibility on the resident in terms of what they can do to mitigate sound and what we can do in terms of regulations that we can have in the parks. So I would propose that we bring this back to council and discuss how to save or just kind of converse about where 140,000, how better that could be spent in terms of the type of equipment that can be used that was passed through the USA Pickleball Association. They have, like I said, this is a nationwide issue. They have quieter paddles that have the same feel. They have the same balls, different, pickleballs that's quieter. And I feel it does, like I said, many cities are dealing with, municipalities are dealing with this, and if we can pass certain regulations in these parks, it would definitely save us more than $140,000. And I just think it honestly sets a bad precedent across, because we'll have kids in the parks, we have people in the parks, children making noise, and in all the parks, if noise is being made, are we gonna also try to mitigate sounds there and put up barriers and spend $140,000 in each park? I feel that that's possible if we do our due diligence. So first thing I think we need to do is see what other cities are doing. Let's work on bringing some of the residents in so we could discuss what can be done rather than throwing money at the issue. Those are kind of my comments. I'm going to vote yes to the initial reconstruction of the parks or whatever, but no to that $140,000.
Thank you. Anyone else? Jeannie Edwards and then Michael Tierney.
Thank you, Madam President. I was against this at first, but now to my understanding, there will be a study done with that money, which kind of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that there's going to be something done, that people's voices will be heard. Hopefully we'll have it done correctly. So now that I have complete understanding, I want to thank you that there will be a study done. That was what I was very concerned about. The constituents that wrote us letters, I do not see them here tonight, so I don't really know how justified they are with their comments. When you feel strongly about something, you come and stand up for it. So I don't know too much about pickleball, but I am going to go with it, trying to understand this study.
Thank you. Michael Tierney?
Thank you, President Schott. The $145,000 is a ceiling of what we can maximally spend on this project. I have confidence in the staff of our city that they will find the most cost-effective solution for this mitigation problem. And I think that maybe this will open a can of worms, but this is not a bad can to be opening. You know, if people are complaining about softball in another park, when it comes time to redo the softball field, we could mitigate the sounds there. This is an existing project that will not only rehabilitate a much needed park, but will also solve an existing issue. And I really don't agree with the fact that it seems like we're operating under the idea that one park's gain is another park's loss. I think that parks are not a zero-sum game. You know, in the second ward, the only park that is in the second ward is the Peace Park. My constituents go to Forsyth Park. My constituents go to Lauren Park. My constituents go to Kingston Point. I go to Kingston Point every single day, even though, you know, the $500,000 that we've spent just now is a drop in the bucket to the total cost. I approved it because it's better for the city and it's better for everybody in it. I think that I trust our staff to make the right decisions, to be cost effective, and to determine what is best to mitigate the sounds that will be a valuable solution to everybody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, obviously, this has generated much discussion. You wouldn't think pickleball would be big, this big of a deal, but before I even proceed, you know, I want to say I was on the rec commission when pickleball came to town, never heard of it. Since then, it has just taken off, not just in Kingston, across the country. Every place we go, every place we stay now has pickleball courts, even more pickleball courts and tennis ball courts now. So I am a big advocate for pickleball, never played. I go over Lauren Park and watch people play. Looks like a good time. One of these days I'll be involved. So I am a supporter of the project. I am, since this is kind of a bundle, we can't vote for one or the other. I am really taken aback by spending this much money on the sound mitigation. I think the project's good. I know Jack has said this is what he hopes will be a maximum amount, and he's looking to bring that figure down. So I'm going to rely on Jack to do his homework here. I will vote yes on this because I'd love to see the project move along.
Bob Dennison and then Michelle Hirsch.
I just want to make a short point. This money is not taxpayer money. This money is coming from our recreation fund, which is presently about $1.5 million. It was created to create parks and to improve our parks and to improve our recreation. So I just want to make that point. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that I've actually been receiving calls in Ward 9. People love pickleball and would like to make sure that this moves forward. I'm afraid that if we delay the allocation of funds for the sound remediation and will tie up the whole summer for these courts to be completed, it would also mean that we would have to close the tennis court, and the public would not have access to these courts for the summer. And also this is a revenue generator for the city. People are coming here to visit and spend their money. So I will be in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so there's a motion to amend the amount to 830, and there's a second. So I will call for the vote. This is to make the amendment, not on actually voting for it. So all in favor to make this amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? So this is adding the
That's the
145.
adding 140.
You're no? Okay, he was the only no, right? Okay, so 8-1, the motion passes 8-1. The dissent was Drew Andrews. Now can I have you read the resolution again with the 830?
Resolution 33 of 2025, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer from fund balance in the amount of $830,000 in the Parks and Recreation Department for the Lauren Park Tennis Pickleball Facility Improvement Project.
So this is a new one, so if you spoke twice and want to speak again, the floor is clean. So anybody on the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 8-1. The dissent is Drew Andrews. Moving to Resolution 34, please.
Resolution 34 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for modifications to the 2025 Historic Properties Budget and requesting authorization to expend in the first instance for the Wilbur Historic District Nomination Project.
On the question, Alderman Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that the allocation of $15,000 grant funding and $10,000 match was passed last year. We're not adding any money to this, but just making it available so that when a contract comes back from New York State, we can begin the project. Thank you.
Thanks for confirming that. Anyone else? Hearing no other discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution 35, please.
Resolution 35 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for modifications to the 2024 planning budget.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution 36.
Resolution 36 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for modifications to the 2025 planning budget and requesting authorization to expend in the first instance for the Roundout Lighthouse Condition Study and Improvements Project.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution 37, please.
Resolution 37 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2024 budget transfer in the Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $57,233,000 to reconcile accounts.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution 38, please.
Resolution 38 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing settlement of tax certiorari proceedings for McNaughton and DePola, LLV, with RPTL Section 727 to apply to the 2026, 2027, and 2028 years.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution number 39, please.
Resolution 39 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer on behalf of all city departments in the amount of $995,337 to reconcile the 2024 General Fund Employee Benefit Account.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution number 40, please.
Resolution 40 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a budget transfer on behalf of all city departments in the amount of $229,894 to reconcile the 2024 Sewer Fund Employee Benefit Account.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution number 41, please.
Resolution 41 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, issuing a Type 2 action determination in connection with the Lauren Park Tennis Pickleball Facility Improvements Project in the State Environmental Quality Review Act process pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.5.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to Resolution 42, please.
Resolution 42 of 2025. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing approval to renew lease between the Volunteer Firemen's Hall and Museum of Kingston Incorporated and the City of Kingston.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 43, please.
Resolution 43 of 2025, an ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the city of Kingston, New York, adding no parking heretofore on both sides of Alcazar Avenue on the turn to Burhans Boulevard.
On the question, Alderman Sarah Pasty.
Thank you, Madam President. This is one of a number of signs that I've brought to the council and to the city in my particular ward in this area. And the goal is to make all of the streets, which are very narrow, to make them safe for vehicular and for pedestrian traffic. These are roads that lead to Forsyth Park and to the Edson and Bailey schools. And I just want to thank my fellow council people and the city for supporting these signs that make my neighborhood a lot safer. So thank you very much.
Thank you. On anybody else? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 44, please.
Resolution 44 of 2025, an ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the city of Kingston, New York, adding handicap parking on Henry Street.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 45, please.
Resolution 45 of 2025, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, appointing 7 members to the Community Preservation Advisory Board.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 46, please.
Resolution 46 of 2025, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, appointing commissioners of deeds from March 3rd, 2025 to March 2nd, 2027.
On the question, hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution number 47, please.
Resolution 47 of 2025, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the use of up to $1,200,000 of fund balance in the general fund to pay for costs related to the partial or full removal of the Pike Plan pedestrian portico structure and related work.
On the question, Alderwoman Terrell Mickens.
Yes, I will be, thank you, Madam President.
So to clarify the Pike Plan, so to clarify the point, the Pike Plan and is a streetscape design. So it is all the columns, it's all the, so the actual canopies would be the full removal. But the sidewalks, which are technically part of the Pike Plan, right? Okay. So the canopies are coming down. So as we've talked many times, but the Pike Plan is the whole streetscape design, including the sidewalks, which is why it says partial, because that's not coming down. Yeah, I mean, I think the only answer to that is what we've talked about in the meetings and what we've been told is going to come down at that cost. I don't. Yeah. Michael Tierney?
Thank you, President Schott. I just want to explain why I will be voting no on this resolution. I voted yes to bring it out of the Finance Committee because ultimately this is largely a procedural vote to make sure that the city is more flexible in the way that it operates. And that is something that I do support. However, I cannot vote for a resolution that, in my opinion, destroys a seminal part of what makes Kingston Kingston. Although I do support the efforts to make sure that the city repairs any of the facade work that's going on there, but I will be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed?
No.
The vote, resolution is adopted 7-2. The dissents are 7-2. Did somebody else vote no? The dissents were Michael Tierney and Terrell Mickens. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. So 7-2. And that concludes our communications. But before we conclude our council meeting, does anyone have anyone they would like to close in memory of? Steve Shabbat.
Thank you. I'd like to close in memory of Susan Jordan, recently passed away. Mrs. Jordan is a lifelong Kingstonian, born a Herzog. She has made her mark in the community as a proponent of tennis for both adults and children over the years. One of her joys in life was spending time with her family, which is quite large indeed. Her children, Betsy, David, Brad, Todd, and many, many grandchildren. And she was a very devoted and loving grandma.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Hearing no one else, I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Drew Andrews, second by Michelle Hirsch. We all in favor? Opposed? We hereby stand adjourned until the next regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday, April 1st, which makes caucus March 31st at 7:30 p.m.